Well, they've made surveys and found out that between 30 and 70% of people wash raw chicken before cooking it. And public health agencies have been saying not to do this for many years, but still the habit persists. And in this video, I would like to explain why washing the chicken is actually a bad thing to do, and it actually makes matters worse. So hi, hello, and welcome again. Microbe Hunter here. I'm Oliver, and in this channel, I like to explore together with you how microorganisms influence our everyday lives. Well, let's first ask the question, why do people even wash the chicken? Well, of course, people want to clean the meat because it's been known for a very long time that they actually do carry bacteria and that raw chicken might make you ill. However, it might be maybe also be seen as part of the food preparation process because people sometimes have also been using vinegar or lemon or salt to prepare the surface of the chicken, and also maybe to remove some of the bad smells, especially in countries where refrigerators are not readily available. I think it just might be also a psychological reason to washing the chicken because you want to eat clean food, right? So it kind of makes sense that you wash that what you actually want to eat later on. I mean, after all, are we not also washing vegetables and fruits and so on? So it kind of makes sense. But in the case of raw chicken, it's actually quite counterproductive because the bacteria that grow on the chicken, especially a bacterium called Campylobacter, the bacteria that grow on the chicken can infect you even at a very low number of 500 cells. So 500 cells are enough to actually make you ill. And by washing a raw chicken, you're actually not able to remove all of those anyway. So there are many of those bacteria still left on the meat. And by washing it, you're not making the situation better because you're actually spreading those bacteria around in your kitchen that were on the chicken, and that's actually a big problem. So you have aerosols, which are tiny microscopic droplets, and those can spread over a meter, even on the tap, on the faucet, maybe even on other food on the counter. And you're essentially spreading the bacteria around without actually knowing it. And this actually causes a contamination problem, which is completely unnecessary and which does not improve the situation because the chicken does not become cleaner if you remove those bacteria. So that is the big problem. So what should you be doing? Well, not wash the chicken and simply heat it up sufficiently long, at least 70 degrees Celsius or more for sufficiently long time, until basically the chicken has been boiled, and then essentially all of the bacteria have also been killed off. So when I prepare my chicken, I'm not handling it very much at all. I simply open the package and try to put it directly into the frying pan without much handling. And then sometimes what I do as well is I want to marinate it, and if I want to add some spices, I do that directly inside my frying pan before I turn up the heat. So I want to have as little contact, even with a cutting board, I want to have as little contact as possible. And of course, afterwards, you want to clean everything. So if I take a fork, for example, to remove the chicken and put it into the frying pan, the fork immediately goes into the dishwasher. But no washing of the chicken directly. The question is now, of course, is why is it that even though health officials have been warning, that people still stick to their old habit? Well, the reason is that maybe communication has also not been quite correct, because if certain health authorities say just don't wash your chicken and they don't explain why people shouldn't be doing that, then of course old habits are difficult to break, especially if people have been washing the chicken maybe for generations. Right? It's already basically passed on inside the family. That's basically how you're supposed to treat food. I mean, you're supposed to wash your hands after having gone to the toilet. Obviously, I mean, that is something that we teach children as well. You should wash fruits and vegetables before you eat them. That is also something that has been taught. So it kind of makes sense that, of course, people also want to be cleanly, have this cleanliness relating to raw meat as chicken. So it kind of makes sense, obviously. But in the case of raw chicken, unfortunately, the situation is a little bit different here. That's all from my side that I would like to share with you. I hope you found the video again, reasonably interesting. There's this thumbs up button somewhere around here, and of course a comments section below. Would like to hear what you think. Wish you all the best. Happy microbe hunting as always, and hope to see you again in the next video. Bye bye.